punch it. All right, guys. Welcome to the Nerdist Podcast number 2. This is Josh.
And this is Leonard.
And we're going to talk about Doctor Strange today. We're going to talk about some of the episodes of Luke Cage, because I've only watched some of the episodes. Leonard, you've watched the whole series already.
I binge watched it on Netflix.
You binge watched the whole thing.
I watched it in one day.
One day. Wow. And we're going to talk about the Nintendo Switch that's coming out, or was announced, I guess, 2 weeks ago now, or a week ago. All right, so let's talk Doctor Strange, man. We just got done watching it. We just came back to your recording studio. We got all your pops very well organized. We got Marvel. We've got... It's amazing how organized it is.
Got one section for DC.
Yep.
Then one section for gaming.
Yep.
One section for anime.
Yep.
One section for Star Wars. My miscellaneous
Yeah,
section.
you have the miscellaneous out there.
And then I have my Marvel ones, and then my Collector Core box ones, which that's different.
Oh, I did that because I didn't know. I did that because I didn't know how you actually had them set up. So, but yeah. So let's talk Doctor Strange, man. The newest Marvel movie. Everybody knows. My dad sent me a message. He's like, "Are you excited about Doctor Strange?" And I said, "It's Marvel. Yeah, I'm pretty excited."
And I was really excited because that's one of my favorite Marvel characters.
Yeah.
So.
So, since he is one of your favorite Marvel characters, and you know a lot more about him, just give us a brief synopsis of who Strange is. And
basically, Strange was a successful surgeon, kind of arrogant, kind of some might call it asshole.
Mm-hmm.
But on top of that, had lots of money, had the women. He was basically kind of like the poor man's Tony Stark.
Okay.
Got into an accident that screwed up his hands, became an alcoholic, got really depressed, was spending all of his money trying to figure out how to fix his hands until he figured out there was a mystic person that he could go see who would help him out. But then, long story short, without giving away a lot of the movie plot,
Yeah. We'll try
or
to...
story for
yeah.
the comics, really good character. He's got that tortured past, but he also ends up being very honorable.
Yeah.
And it deals with the mysticism and the occult type stuff for Marvel, which I like.
Yeah.
Like, I like the Doctor Stranges and the Ghost Riders to an extent, like the vampires, so like Blade. I like the horror / occult / mysticism side to Marvel that may not always fit in with Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk.
Okay. So, I don't know a lot about Doctor Strange. I go into this movie knowing very little about it, and I come out very happy with it. It did all the things I wanted it to do. It set up a new character. It put him in our universe that we already have established in the MCU. It furthers the plot that they have already set up, and it's funny. And we're not going to...
humor was a plus.
Yeah, we're not going to try to get too much into spoilers. Mm-hmm. We'll try to keep this as spoiler-free. We'll let you guys decide if you want us to do a little bit more spoiler-type podcast. But so we'll try to keep it pretty unspoiler.
I'll do the old Motown test. So, Berry Gordy from Motown, when they had a new song come out, he would sit with his group of people, and he would ask them, if you were down to your last $2, because things were cheaper back then.
I got a nickel.
It was, if you were down to your last $2, would you spend that on a sandwich, or would you spend it on this song or this record?
Okay.
So if I was down to my last $5,
yep,
and I had to choose, well, no, how much was the ticket? Ticket was like
ticket was
$10.
10 tonight. Yeah, 10 tonight. We probably could have got it less if we didn't buy it online. But
so if I had to choose between like a special deal pizza from Papa John's that was $10, which is probably like a large one topping, or going to watch this movie, I would choose watching the film.
So you're going to see the movie again.
Yep.
I definitely want to see it again in 3D. We saw it tonight in standard. We both wear glasses, and watching 3D movies isn't always the best experience for me as somebody with glasses. It really narrows my vision.
Right, because other people with glasses kind of know you have to put the 3D glasses over your glasses, and it's not the most comfortable thing to do.
So I definitely want to see it, though. It is a visual spectacle. It might be the best looking Marvel movie.
I like what they did. The CGI is done tastefully. Like it makes sense within the movie when they explain what's happening. It wasn't overly. There wasn't a lot of CGI that just stood out. Like, oh man, that looks.
No, I mean that, and I was gonna say that too. Like, so in Captain America, the Civil War, in the beginning of the movie, they have the scene where the Falcon shoots what's his companion? It's not
Red Wing.
Yeah, Red Wing. He shoots off of him, and it flies through, and it does this dive, and it looked really bad. You could tell it was not the best CG. And even when the car is when they're chasing Crossbones out of the complex, you could tell the CG wasn't great. Like, there was parts in Civil War where the CG looked really bad. I didn't feel like that at all in this movie.
Actually, the visuals helped the movie along. Like,
yeah,
you
said it best. You said it's like a kaleidoscope.
Yeah, to me, you get like the kaleidoscope effect, and some of it I don't think was actually CGI. I think some of it was, let's take this film, and we'll do fractals with it. Mm-hmm. For those of you who remember your math and science from school.
yeah.
We'll do fractals with it. Think like snowflakes with infinite patterns and things of that nature. And you get really good looking visuals on screen.
Yep. And it was just the way that they did it. It didn't look like anything else we've seen, which is nice because it is that mysticism. And you don't want it to look like anything else.
Like, you don't want to go into this thinking, oh, I'm going to see the same special effects that I saw in Harry Potter, or they have a completely different look and a completely different feel to them.
This movie is definitely different feeling than Captain America or anything like that, because it's less based on physical action and more based on visual styling, because like when he's making the shields, or when he interacts with the cape, which is probably one of the most it's probably one of the funniest and most joyous things that I've seen, and it reminds you of Aladdin and the magic carpet, and that's all I'll go. I won't say too much more about it, but it's the cape has its own personality, and the cape is funny, so that's really great.
And the film does a really good job of not just throwing you in there going, oh, this is magic spells. It kind of does a really good job of explaining to you what they have to do in order to accomplish the spells. But it also kind of shows there's a price for casting the spells too. It's not instantaneous. So in a fight, you're not just pointing a wand and zip zap, it's done. You actually have to do hand signals or draw out. It's actually really good.
And that was one of my things that I never think will get, like, just to sidetrack here, like Harry Potter movies. I don't think they ever, the books do a much better job of explaining the spells, and it spends a lot more time on the children have to learn the spell and then being able to do it without without using the words and just using the wand. But in the movies, they never did that well. They really never. They just, one time, they just learned how to do it. Like, they just all of a sudden knew, oh, I do this and a bolt flies out or whatever. But they do a really great job in this movie of showing, okay, he's trying, he's not getting it right, but he's going to get it right.
Right. They show a good learning process that just wasn't, okay, you're a natural at this.
Yeah.
Go to it.
Which actually, is what I kind of thought they were gonna do. I thought they were gonna go down because in the trailers they show him with his hands in the water, and he's it gets you excited because you know that those are that he's naturally doing movements that we see in the movie later. I thought they were going to play up a little bit more of he's just naturally gifted, and I did like that they were like, he's got this photographic memory, that's what helps him learn really quick. He's just really smart. He's a super smart character. And
that was one of the things growing up, being a Doctor Strange fan, was going to school. I always wanted to do great in school. Like, I wanted to ace every test. I wanted the teacher ask a question, you know the answer.
Yeah.
And the only reason that he was as great a surgeon as he was because he was a bookworm. That's all he did. He wanted to be the same way with magic. It was learn, train, learn.
Yeah.
So if you take your kids to see it, which a lot of you will, that's a good thing to point out to them is, hey, he didn't just get it his first day. It took him, he had to try. Yeah. He had to learn. And you don't really see a lot of movies that, oh man, there's a struggle. Life is a struggle. It's not easy. You're not always going to get it. You have to work hard for it. So it is a good movie if you're going to take your kids. And it's just like, hey, Doctor Strange struggled too, and he just kept at it.
Yep. Well, and because to counter that, you have Tony Stark, who, from our version of Tony Stark in the whole MCU, we know that he's smart. They never really go into why he's as smart as he is. We just know from the first frame of the movies that he's smart. He's smarter than everybody else. Like, he's just smarter than everybody else. So how do you feel like it compared to your expectations being a Strange fan?
So as a Doctor Strange fan, there's like three main things I was looking for going into the film. I was looking, how are they going to pull off the magic and the spells?
Yeah.
Which I think they nailed it. They did a great job. The second thing was, are they going to stick to his origin story, or are they going to kind of mismatch, change things around? Which, for the most part, they pretty much stuck really close.
Yeah, they did the same thing that they did with Tony. They really gloss over the alcoholism. We only saw it the one time in Iron Man 2 when he's getting drunk and he's shooting, he's playing with DJM and he's shooting bottles out of there and he's drunk. But they've really glossed over that whole aspect of...
They kind of chose to show more the depression and anger.
Which plays. Which plays. So... And
then the third thing for me was lore. Like, from the comics, how much lore are you going to give us? Which they had a lot. Down to relic names.
Yep.
Like the most iconic thing two iconic things for Doctor Strange are going to be the Eye of Agamotto. That's the necklace that he wears, and the cape of levitation, or the cloak of levitation.
Yeah.
That's basically the red cape that he wears, and the big gold eye that he wears around his neck. So as a fan, when he found it, I was like, oh. There it is. Yep. And then I was like, so...
Did you notice... Because I didn't obviously notice it, but did you notice that when the Ancient One
when they first showed it?
First show. So you noticed that
I noticed
right
it,
away.
And I was like, oh, okay, so eventually he should get that. So if... It looks like they paid attention and said, okay, if a fan of Doctor Strange comes and watches this film, are we going to hit on things that they're going to notice and go, oh, I might be a really big nerd because... I might be one of the only people in the theater who recognizes it. Or there might be like 3% of the people in the theater that go, oh man, I know what that is. Because when we were watching it, when they showed the cloak, there was maybe like 4 or 5 people that went, oh man.
See, I know it just from the pictures of him. I'm like, okay, he doesn't have his cloak currently. At some point, he's got to get his cloak. I didn't realize the cloak was so independent of him. So that was really cool. And the thing where there's a part where they talk about weapons and the weapons choose you rather than you choosing the weapon. That was a really great moment.
And I had some reservations about the Ancient One being changed from an old Asian male to a female, but it doesn't really matter in the film. You kind of forget about it after a while.
Yeah.
They did the ancient one was portrayed. All of the characters were portrayed really well. There was a little bit of switching with some, but that goes into spoilers, so I won't get into that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the same thing that they kind of do. They've done it before. We've seen it before in Iron Man 3 with the Mandarin type. Not saying that that's the same thing here, where they play with the backstories a little here. So
and for Doctor Strange fans, the reveal of the big bad or the villain in this one is a big payoff for Doctor Strange fans, because most people who are fans of Marvel have no idea. I think.
Yeah, like me, I'm a
villain is.
Yeah, like me, I'm a comic fan. But
once you find out who that villain is, and then you maybe just take the time to go Google, you'll find that he's probably one of the better Marvel Universe villains out there. I've
read some stuff recently before the movie, but I saw an article on Slash Film where they were talking about that, where they had to go in and explain more about that character. So I'll probably even read that now just to get even more of a understanding of that character. That's the great thing about this movie. It really makes me want to go back and read some older Doctor Strange. That way I can be more knowledgeable with that.
Which is good, because I do think that, because it was weird, like even among other Marvel fans, like, oh, who are your top 3? And in my top 3, I always would have Doctor Strange, and they're like, I don't know who that is, or can you explain to me why? So maybe this film will help people, like, introduce Doctor Strange to a broader audience of people.
Yeah, see, because I'm more the guy that's like, well, Spider-Man's always been my favorite, and then like Wolverine, and like these characters, because that's what I grew up with in the 90s. We all had we had this Saturday morning cartoon, and Spider-Man and the X-Men were always on, so they always became like my favorite characters. That and Nightcrawler, like those are like some of my favorite characters. I didn't get into comics until later, so now with these movies, it makes me go, oh, I want to go read that, or ooh, I should have been reading this a long time ago.
But it was a pleasant outing for me. Like I enjoyed the movie from the time it started until the time that we left after the credits. Make sure you stay after the credits too.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, come on, people. It's a Marvel movie. There's going to be a pre-credit or post-credit and a during credit cutscene. It's going to happen. Just stay and watch it. Otherwise, you're going to come back again and see it, or you're going to see it at home. Just stay and watch it. It's worth it. Like both the post-credit scenes were good this time. I don't think they were as good as Civil War,
but it still does the job of tying things in and leading into other adventures.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: it's like what I said about Doctor Strange. This movie makes me want to go back and read other Doctor Strange comics. I can say that about Marvel movies in general. When I watch one and I don't know a lot about the character, it does make me want to go back and see or read a comic. The Fox movies don't make me want to do that. None of the Fox movies have made me go, man, I really need to watch X-Men, because I know X-Men. Even if it's just based on that 90s cartoon show, I know X-Men. And I've read Old Man Logan and all these books because I like those characters. But none of the new Fox movies make me go, man, I really should go back and read a Fantastic Four.
And that's
because that movie was shit.
That's the genius of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is, all right, eventually everyone's going to go through burnout. Yep. You're going to get tired of Captain America. You're going to get tired of Iron Man. You're going to get tired of Thor or the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Or
eventually they're just going to have to change these characters out.
So then, well, if we can introduce you to some of our more obscure characters and get you interested in them, guess what? Now we have a whole catalog for those characters that we can make movies on. And you guys, it's a good way to tie together their universe and always have content to put out. Think of it like, Black Panther is going to have his own standalone movie.
Yeah.
I think they're going to do a Black Widow.
Are they going to do a Black Widow?
I think they're doing a Black Widow.
I mean, I would be down for a Black Widow. we'll see what happens. I'm
Guardians
not sure.
of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
is a better example of a
Yeah.
group like they were popular, but not a lot of people knew that much about Guardians of the Galaxy before that film.
I knew Rocket Raccoon only because of Marvel vs. Capcom. He was a playable character in Marvel vs. Capcom. That's the only reason I knew who Rocket Raccoon was.
And after that film, so now they are like, oh, we have a full team, but we also have individuals too that we could pop. The Inhumans I'm assuming is probably going to be the same way.
Yeah.
That's another obscure group that not a lot of people know.
But they're doing a good job of introducing them in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yep.
So this is the MCU. They're doing a really good job of introducing everything across these different platforms.
So that when you see them show up or you hear about them in another film or show, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that.
Yep, exactly.
The Fox movies, not so much. It's kind of fragmented. They might...
To me, it feels like the Fox movies, they're trying to tie stuff together with shoestrings. Like, they're like, oh, well, we can kind of make this work if we just fudge it a little bit and make Jean Grey give him his memory back, and we can kind of make this work. But
so if you had to give a rating between 1 to 10 for Doctor Strange, where would yours sit?
I would say it's probably like an 8. And that's, I mean, maybe it's because of my high water mark is Civil War currently.
Okay.
I would say I really like the character.
I think mine would be probably like an 8 or 9.
I mean,
it fluctuates between.
It would fluctuate between. I mean, it's not a perfect movie. I don't think it's by any means a perfect movie. But it's up there. It's probably one of the best Marvel. It's definitely one of the best standalone Marvel movies. Not including, because the Avengers and all these, they're based on team movies. Even you can call Civil War was an Avengers movie without Thor and the Hulk.
I think this gets them into the
mysticism,
like I said, the mysticism and occult side of Marvel, which there's a lot of people that are. I mean, look at all the Harry Potter fans.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the same crowd.
Yeah.
So I think that opens the door for them to do a lot more of that. And there's other villains and heroes that I would like to see on film from that side. There were Ghost Rider films. Maybe this will give them a second shot. He's on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
He's on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Have you watched any of them on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I have not watched that yet.
I haven't either, so I don't want to judge.
But I'm hoping that will open the door up for them, and I'm hoping it opens up the door for a Defenders team coming up pretty soon, where you could have all of them on it.
Yeah. Well, they are making the Defenders.
I know they're doing it for the TV shows, but I don't know if they'll incorporate Doctor Strange into it at some point.
Oh, yeah. Well, see, that's the problem, is that I think that whoever's in charge over there, I think it's Kevin Feige or whatever, Feige, I'm not really sure how that name's pronounced, but he said he wants the Defenders to be in Infinity. They don't know if it's going to happen, but I've read somewhere that he wants it to happen. It just doesn't know if it's going to happen logistically with all the characters.
So, overall, with Doctor Strange, we both seem to like it.
Yeah.
I would recommend you go see it.
I'm going to go see it again. I want to see it again in 3D.
Now, I do have to address, if you go to the movies, just be conscious that there are other people there who want to enjoy the movie. They paid money and bought a ticket, and they probably spent money on popcorn and drinks, or their families with them.
Yep.
They're there to watch that movie, have a good time, and not be bothered. So, I mean, I'm sorry. I sat beside these two guys tonight, and the entire time from the opening trailers all the way up until the end, I was just like, will you please be quiet? If you have negative comments, that's fine. It's fine to have, I don't mind you not liking something, but don't yell out. Don't yell to the screen. They can't hear you. Don't yell to the screen. Don't try to have commentary for every punchline or reveal or whatever that happens in the movie, because there's other people around you and you ruin their experience.
You're at a movie. You're not at home doing your Mystery Science Theater, reenactment. Have some respect for the people around you.
It's like, I get it. You maybe you're trying to lighten the mood, but to me, it just comes across as being really obnoxious when the theater's quiet, we're all watching a movie, and all of a sudden, someone just yells out, you take away from the film.
He did it during the scene where it's supposed to be a serious moment between Strange and, what's her name, Christine?
Christine.
Yeah, and he decided, this is my moment. Today I get to be funny. Today is my day. I'm gonna be the most funny person in here, and it fell flat. Nobody laughed.
And I'm gonna warn, if you guys, I usually from now on when we go to a premiere, even though I did air quotes, but you can't see that. Even though when we go to a premiere from now on, I will probably rock my Neeerdom shirt.
Yeah.
So if you sit beside me, respect my armrest, because
put some respect on my armrest.
This guy tonight, maybe it was just them. Maybe it was. I have never had that many problems with someone I was sitting beside in a theater before.
Yeah.
This guy was crowding on my space, and it's like he kept. It was like a war for my armrest, and I was just like,
"Did you lose?"
I just gave up. I was like, if you're gonna nudge my arm, I'm gonna nudge your arm back.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I hope he doesn't stand up and try to start something, because. But like I said, it's common decency.
Because you're like Michael Jackson, you don't want to be starting something.
It's common decency. You're in a public venue. There's other people there with you. Be mindful of the other people. Like the dude beside him was texting the whole movie, and I'm just like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You just watched the video that told you not to do it.
Yep.
So
because it was obnoxious.
When you're in a public venue, you're all there to have a good time and enjoy what you paid your money for. Don't ruin it for other people.
I was just glad nobody clapped at the end.
I was the first movie we went to, no one clapped.
Yeah, it was the first one that we've been to, because we went and saw Civil War, they clapped.
Right, yeah, they've clapped.
We went and saw Star Wars, they clapped. Every movie that we've gone to see together, they clapped at frickin' Suicide Squad, and that movie sucked balls. So, I mean, somebody was in there going, yay, Harley Quinn finally made it to the big screen.
And the second thing, too, well, this is the third thing. If you're a parent, I'm not knocking parents for taking your kids to movies. It's great. You're getting them out of the house.
Well, not only that,
family time.
Yeah, you should be able to see a movie that you want to see.
You should supervise your kids when they're at the movie. Like, I watched, I don't know how many, I think like 3 or 4 times, I kept seeing this little small body dart out the corner of my left eye. This little small body would dart down the walkway because the walkway was still lit. And I'm like, what is that? This little kid was just running out to the bathroom, running back. I don't know if he was using it, but he did it like 5 or 6 times. And then at one point, I was like, is that kid out there by themselves? So that's taken away from, oh, there's a good movie. Oh, there's something moving down there. And I get it. You're out. You're having a good time with your family.
Hey,
it's family time.
They want to see Strange too.
But try to. I mean, this ain't the first movie. Like, we watched the movie where the little kid snuck a laser pointer in.
Those weren't little kids. Those were jackass little teens. They were teenagers that were just. It was when we went and saw freaking Star Wars, man. We paid extra money to go see it in 3D, and IMAX 3D, mind you, which isn't cheap. You all know this isn't cheap. I don't have to tell you this stuff.
Moral of the story is, everybody's there to have a good time. Don't ruin it for other people.
Yep. All right, so I mean, we can transition from Strange.
Yep, Doctor Strange. Go see it.
Great movie.
Great character. You'll love it.
If you like all the other Marvel stuff, like I said, when my dad asked me, was I excited about Doctor Strange? I said, does it have Marvel in it? Then yes, I'm excited. Like they haven't let me down yet with any of the MCU. We're not going to talk about Fox, but they haven't let us down with any of the MCU movies. So yes, I am excited. I'm excited for Guardians. I'm excited for Ragnarok. You know, I'm excited for these movies. So let's talk about Luke Cage. We'll talk about the first...
Lucas Cage.
We will talk about the first 6 episodes, because that's all I watched.
Okay, so
this is gonna be spoiler. I don't care.
So to refresh me, the 6th episode ends with what? Because I watched
the 6th episode. We end with I forget her name now.
Okay.
Her partner,
the dirty cop dies. Okay, so I'm good up to there.
So we're not gonna hold spoilers back. By now, if you're you can binge watch this whole series.
And it's possible to do in a weekend on Saturday night.
Exactly. I mean, you can do this.
Because I did it, and it was great. It
was
the greatest.
Luke Cage, we met him over in Jessica Jones. He's got super strength. Or is it super strength, or is he just bulletproof?
It's super strength and unbreakable skin.
Okay.
And a mild healing factor, like regeneration.
Okay. But other than that, he's not...
Other than that, he's just a normal guy.
He's just a normal dude with a bald head and a great body.
And he works 2 jobs.
Yeah, this guy has 2 jobs. He works for Pops.
I'm going to say this, even though, I mean, there's not that many African-American superheroes.
Or black culture television shows like this. So,
I was happy to see Luke Cage because they portray him as an everyday normal guy who has morals and has standards. He might have messed up a little bit before, but it has some really, really good messages that young African-American males should be able to latch on to.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the always moving forward was one for me. I was like, that's a great thing that's great. Then when he says that,
he was just short of telling him, with great power comes great responsibility.
And then the second one was, hey, sometimes young people need to see someone who looks like them work.
Yeah.
I mean, just not go out and get rich quick or do something illegal. Just work. Just do a normal job. Make your money a legit way. Save your money up. Do what you need to do, but work. Just work.
Yeah, like Rihanna.
And the third one... work. The third one was he really does not like the use of the N-word.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, in our culture and society today, it's used a lot by multiple people.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be preachy on that, but I like the fact that was brought up in this show, and he addresses it in this show.
And he still uses it. But he only uses... I can only remember one episode that he uses, and it's when the guy's holding the gun on him.
And I think he's doing it to
emphasize.
Prove a point.
Yeah, he's doing it to be like, no,
But with all of that aside, great. For me, I'll let you start.
Okay, I'll start. I watched the first 2 episodes, and I was interested by the end of the second episode, but I wouldn't say I was... they were very slow. Both episodes were very slow. But they do a really good job of setting up characters. So in the first episode, we meet Luke Cage. He gets to bang that cop
Misty
lady.
Knight,
yeah, Misty.
who I have her on my wall over there.
You do?
Oh, yep, bottom row.
Oh, right there she is. She got an afro. So we get to see that Luke apparently has no problem. Well, he has no problem having sex with women. He doesn't mind doing that. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, so I forgot we had a technical difficulty, but we're talking Luke Cage again. So, yeah, the first 2 episodes seemed to be really slow. A lot of story setup, which was necessary, but kind of slow. It picks up in the 3rd episode right from jump. That's when he goes into the
Fort Knox.
Yeah. And he's like it's right from like Jump Street. We're into it. Overall, the series is really good. Like I said, by episode 6, it seems like they're painting a pretty picture of everything has been settled and the bad guy's in jail and I know that can't be true because we're only
in episode
6 episodes into, I believe, a 13 episode series. So. Overall, I'm really enjoying it.
I think the tone of the show is really good. The soundtrack's awesome. Like the soundtrack sets the mood for the show. Who is that rapper? Jadina?
Is that who it is? The one that dresses like really...
Hail to the Chief?
Yes.
Yep. Or is it Hail to the Chief or Long Live the Chief? Anyway, yeah.
That song
and
at
there's like a musical
episode,
guest almost in each episode, I think.
But that song sets the tone of that episode so well.
And Cottonmouth, even though he isn't super powered, is probably one of the better villains that I've seen on a superhero show for a while. He's just cool. Like his demeanor is cool. Yeah. He doesn't really break character at all. Like he's this gangster that's ruthless.
Yeah.
You start finding out kind of why he is the way he is, but I think he's a good villain. But like I said, he's not super powered, but he's still scary. Like,
yes, he's scary.
Like a scary guy.
He's a scary guy. Not super powered. So would you say that? I'm assuming he doesn't have any kind of superpowers later in the series either, because that was kind of one of the things I was thinking. I was like, well, he seems to be beating up people a lot. Like,
well, see, so I won't ruin that for you because you haven't watched all of them. But
yeah,
you'll get to a point where you go, okay, I see what's happening here.
Okay, he's got kryptonite hands.
Well, so the thing with Luke Cage is you can't break his skin, but if you can cause enough trauma to like his head, you can still knock him out or hurt him.
Yeah, like we saw in Jessica Jones when he gets that shotgun blast to the head, and then Rosario, who makes an appearance in this.
Oh, and she's
this
awesome.
Series.
She's awesome in this series too.
Well, and she's fine. And I mean, come on, it's Rosario Dawson. She's gorgeous.
Man, if she shows up in Iron Fist, I'm just gonna be like,
oh, she's going to. She is the only character that is crossed in every single episode. Or every single series.
Yep.
She has done Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Daredevil 2, and now Luke Cage. She's going to be in Iron Fist. And then she's going to be in the Defender series. Yeah. So,
for me, Misty Knight, who, not another obscure character, not a lot of people are going to know about her. She was actually on the Defenders team.
So tell me this.
Well, I'm sorry. She was on the Heroes for Hire team.
So she has a power. Because at least the way it sets it up is that when she's looking at these photographs or she's in places, she can recreate the scene.
In the show, it seems like she has some form of like a telepathic or precognitive or some kind of skill like that. In the comics, not so much. Okay. She was just like physically gifted, and her arm got cut off and replaced with a mechanical one.
Because like in the show, I'm like, okay, well, she seems to be able to put together these scenes, and I was like, well, is that what made her such a great basketball player? Because they keep alluding back to her being a basketball player. Was she able to read people before
and she
they
was
made
a point
moves?
Guard, so she could read defenses.
Yeah, exactly. So, like I said, I don't know where that's going yet. They just kind of tied up the last episode 6, in this bow of okay, everything seems to be okay. But we all know that it's not. I'm really looking forward to finishing up the series. We can talk about the second half when I finish.
Yeah, because there's a lot that happens in the second half that you'll be like, oh, okay, I didn't see.
That's what I've heard. I've heard a lot. Everybody that I talked to, you and Mike and Daryl and Aaron have all said that there's things that's going to happen that you're not going to see at all. It's going to be very it's going to really I'm not going to see things coming.
So I'll put it in perspective for you guys. So I went in on, it was a weekend. I wasn't on call that weekend, so I was like, I won't have any distractions. Me and Whitney sat down up the hall, had little snacks, drinks, whatever. Oh, we're going to watch Luke Cage. We got through.
We're going to watch a strong black brother on television.
We got through like the first 3 episodes, and I just remember going, man, the opening theme has like this 70s vibe to it, but not quite, mixed with like a little bit of hip hop. Got through the first 3 episodes, and I was like, well, it's not quite what I was expecting as far as the action. It was a little slow, but it was basically character development.
Well, and Jessica Jones, to be honest, was slow. The first 3 episodes or so were slow as well.
But then we hit the 4th episode, and by that time, it was probably about 3 o'clock at night.
Mm-hmm.
So Whitney was out. She was asleep. She fell asleep. I was like, man, I really don't want to keep watching them, but I want to know what's going to happen. Another episode.
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to see another episode.
Yeah.
So I just watched.
You got Stranger Things into it.
I watched every episode
because that's what happened with me and Stranger Things. I watched the first episode and I was like, "This is really good," and then I watched the whole season in one day, and it was the most satisfying thing I've done.
And props to Netflix because I like their setup where okay, here's the season, the full season. Do with it whatever you want.
Yep.
If you want to watch one episode a day, do that. If you want to watch two, do. If you want to binge watch all of them. I like that they give you the freedom to do that, and it works out pretty good. Especially if you don't want to pay for a huge cable bill.
Yeah.
It works out perfectly. Well, these are exclusive to Netflix. So.
Yeah, you can't get them anywhere else. But me and my wife, we do that. Me and Jamie, we do that quite often too. With Orange Is the New Black, we make a point to be like, we're going to watch 2 episodes tonight. That way we can make it last. Because otherwise we would sit and watch the whole series and then we'd be like, oh, I can't wait for the next season and it's not going to be out for a year.
And this is a kind of a segue back to Doctor Strange. The actor who played Wong in Doctor Strange also plays he's a Khan in Marco Polo.
Oh yeah.
The name's it's not Genghis Khan. It's Kublai. He plays Kublai Khan in the Marco Polo
really?
show that's on Netflix. I watched that Marco Polo show going, this guy is an awesome actor. Like he has like this charisma about him. And he made that show awesome for me. So it was good to see him in something else, and I just realized that that's who Wong was.
It's like, just hit you.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, that's Wong. So if you go watch Doctor Strange and you like Wong's character, you should check out Marco Polo on Netflix because he has a huge role in that one and it's awesome.
Yeah. So with like they do in the Marvel movies, they drop hints and they drop nods to other characters. They do some in Doctor Strange. They do that really well in the TV shows. They did it really well in Luke Cage. I loved it when he was in Harlem and the dude's trying to sell
videos.
Sell him a video of the incident, and and then they're like, oh well, you ain't got a hammer, and I love it when they throw those little things in to let you know that these.
And I like that Pops continuously calls him Power Man.
Yep.
Hey, what's up, Power Man? Like it's.
Or in the origin episode where he's got the yellow
the 70s
blouse
outfit.
And he's got the cuffs on, he's got the band on, and he goes, man, this looks stupid. Like, just those little things make you it really endears the show to you. You really, it really makes the show that much better. When I first started watching the show, though, I was confused. I didn't know timeline wise where it took place.
Fit in.
By the time Rosario shows up with her character, I definitely know now. Okay, the incidents from
Jessica
Jones have already happened.
And his wife has already been killed.
We already passed all that. So it was really nice to see his origin story, and they did it in a really clever way in that episode where it kept interlacing.
And after saying that, because you haven't gotten to that part yet, they intertwine so many stories and on the Marvel side that it's amazing, because you're going to watch Luke Cage and actually get info from all of the other previous shows where there's characters or things happening within the show.
Or like when the guy who turns over Chico, he goes to collect his money, and an incident happens where somebody gets thrown off the roof, and he's like, screw you guys, I'm going back to Hell's Kitchen where things are normal. Like when this dude is like, Hell's Kitchen is normal. So it's but yeah, I mean, just everything about that show so far has been
I would
really
watch
good.
all of the Marvel shows.
Oh, they're great.
Like, I haven't seen a bad one.
Yeah, every single one's been good.
DC is kind of meh. Some of it, I like Arrow. Never really got into the Flash. I tried to get into Gotham. I didn't really get fully into that, and I like DC too, but Marvel Studios seems to be more of a cohesive unit.
Yeah,
at the moment.
But so we'll finish up, Doc, or we'll finish up with I'll finish up Luke Cage. I got, I think, 7 episodes left. I think it's 13 episodes total. I'll try to finish that up. That way, the next time we sit down and talk, we can talk about the ending of the series and kind of wrap that all up. But before we get out of here tonight, the last thing I wanted to talk about was the Nintendo Switch.
Ah, the Switch.
So, I grew up on Nintendo.
Game Boy,
Nintendo's Super Nintendo. My mom swears to God that I was snooping and found our Nintendo. I wasn't. I was underneath a bed hiding, and I just happened to see it and just kind of thought it was ours. Now, that's not to say that I didn't snoop at Christmas and hide the good presents that Santa left, like the White Ranger. I would hide him from my brother, that way he couldn't get him, but I wasn't snooping at that time. But Super Nintendo, Nintendo 64, I'm a big-time Nintendo player. Leonard, you were not as big into Nintendo through the years,
the
right?
the first console I had was the Nintendo Entertainment System, the regular one.
Yeah.
But mine's more limited. Like, we had Super Mario Brothers, Battletoads, Tetris, I think Punch Out.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't Mike Tyson's Punch Out. It was just something Punch Out.
Yeah.
But
it was the regular Punch Out.
Yeah,
the
I didn't
first
play
version
like
of Punch Out
Zelda.
Yeah.
I didn't play Metroid.
All the good ones.
Yeah, I didn't play a lot of the Nintendo titles until recently.
Yeah.
I got into playing like what was it that you had showed me? I think it was Metroid.
Metroid Prime.
Zelda.
Yep.
I
mean, but you'd played
Mega
like
Man.
Mario, Mega Man, things of that nature.
I have experience with Nintendo, but mine's not as extensive. Like, I think I stopped playing a lot of straight Nintendo games after the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
I played like Mario Kart and Smash Brothers on the N64 and the GameCube, but that was
about it. Yeah. So you skipped the Wii U. Did you have a Wii or did you have not?
No
so
Wii.
You skipped the Wii. You skipped the Wii. Did you have a GameCube or no?
Had a GameCube.
You had a GameCube. So you skipped the Wii, skipped the Wii U. Nintendo Switch. Does it interest you at all? Have you seen much about it?
I like the fact that it's portable. To me, it seems like, and it feels to me more like a Shield tablet.
Okay, yeah,
but
it does.
Geared towards Nintendo
fans, yeah.
It seems like they might be throwing in some gimmicky stuff, but as long as the hardware works, I think it's cool. If the price range isn't too bad, I might look at trying to get one.
I'm excited for it. I'm really excited for it. I skipped the...
Because I can take it to work.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You can take it to work. Blah, 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 blah. But I skipped the Nintendo Wii U. Like many people, when it came out, I was confused. I thought it was an add-on to the Nintendo Wii. I didn't know that it was a standalone system. So I skipped it because I didn't want to pay that price again for basically just to play Mario. But the Nintendo Switch is very interesting to me. It seems like you said, like an NVIDIA Shield.
I like that you could play Skyrim on it.
Yep.
So it means it should have better graphics. The only thing I'm worried about is battery life on it.
And that's
because
where
if
some
it's
people...
that powerful, it has to be eating it has to be hogging power.
Current reports out, or not reports, but what people have been speculating is that currently it's like a 3-hour battery life on a portable. It's going to be I think 1080 at 60 frames, controller and Shield. So they're saying between, like, the early reports have been 3 hours. That kind of is disappointing. But at the same time, I can remember when my Game Boy only lasted, like a little while. I remember my friend had a Game Gear, and that thing ate through batteries like nothing.
And with portable gaming, you don't. So if you're away from your home, away from the docking station, the average person isn't going to have a marathon play session.
Exactly.
When you come home, you put it on the dock, you can play through your TV.
Exactly.
But when you go out somewhere, you probably won't play it for 3 hours.
No.
Not
and that's. I mean, my big thing is I like the idea of if I want to, if my wife wants to watch television, kind of like the Wii U is, I can take it off
and play.
She can watch the television. I can play my game still. I can still be in the living room. Mm-hmm. I'm not secluded back into my office where my Xbox One is now. You know, because if I want to play my Xbox One, I have to go to my office because I don't want to take up another television.
And take up a screen.
Yeah, so you know, I'm very excited for it. Some of the commercial stuff or some of the promo stuff, I was like, who's ever gonna do this?
Oh, where they have the little parties and they're taking their controllers.
It was like we're at a basketball court and we're gonna take the little controllers off and play NBA 2K. Like, no, who is that for?
The only thing that I see that I would, if I got it, I know I'd dock it here, play it on a screen when I'm at home. And if I go to work, if they have the option of buying more than one dock, mm-hmm. which I'm pretty sure they will, I'd probably put a dock there that runs into a screen, and then I have...
Yeah.
Because, to be honest, for most of us who work, you usually spend half of your day at work, the other half at home.
Yeah.
Maybe. If you don't do grocery shopping or have kids. So, we don't have kids yet.
Yeah.
So, you're either at work or you're at home or you're grocery shopping or something. The average person who gets one of these isn't going to just walk outside and stay outside for 5 hours playing this game. Most mobile games aren't set up like that anyway.
Yeah. So, and another thing I noticed from the commercial is that, did you notice any kids in the commercial?
Nope. There was mostly teenagers, adults.
It was definitely geared to people in their 30s or people between their 20s and 30s that have disposable income that are Nintendo fans.
Well, let's say this is the price of a Shield tablet.
What is the Shield?
I think they were running like 300, 400, depending on which processor and what storage capacity.
I'll put it like this. I love Legend of Zelda. The new Legend of Zelda looks amazing. I will buy this system just to play the Legend of Zelda. I will buy it to play
just for some Mario Kart.
Yeah,
and
Mario Kart, Legend of Zelda. Like, their first party games are amazing. They haven't had the support of the third party, and it looks like they're getting more support with this because they're making it easier.
If you can play Skyrim
program.
anywhere, then that's awesome. So that means you should have the graphic fidelity to play other NBA 2K.
Well, see, like with the battery charge thing, you don't need another dock at work. You could just maybe if they have a charging cable.
Oh, and then just plug it in.
You just plug it in and you just play with the controller, so you can take it anywhere. I really like what Nintendo's doing with it. We'll see how it works.
Because I always wished that Xbox had
a portable.
Not talking about the Windows Phone. Ugh. But you could just walk around with it, play your Xbox games that you own digitally. Like, it'd be limited space on it. That would be the only thing is how would they work that out.
Well,
even if it's like mobile games or like little arcade games, it's still something mobile.
Well, that's like I was going to try to play Gears last night because you were online. I saw you come online. I think you probably saw me on Netflix because I was watching the 6th episode of Luke Cage. But I didn't go in thinking I'm going to watch Luke Cage. I went in thinking I'm going to play Gears. And when I started up Gears, it said a 5 gigabyte download update.
And then it took a while.
And it took, almost an hour. And I was like, well, at this point, I don't feel like playing Gears anymore.
And it's late and I want to go to sleep.
And I finished watching the episode and I was like, I'm just going to go to bed now because I wanted to play a game. And because of all these damn updates all the time, I couldn't play the game. I'm starting to hate that about these games. But no, Nintendo
I'm interested
Switch,
in it. I'm just curious to see if there's going to be different packages with it, what bundles it'll ship with what games, and then the price tag. Yeah. If there are going to be different color schemed ones, because Nintendo's really good about, let's make a red one, let's make a Zelda one, let's make a...
Exactly.
So that would be pretty cool to see.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Like I said, if everybody at work got one, if it gets slow,
Super Smash.
Make sure it's slow when we're not busy.
We'll smash it up. Play Mario Kart it up. But yeah, well, guys, I think that's gonna wrap up the second episode.
I think so. Gotta go get some food.
Episode 2 of Nerdist, or not Nerdist. Ha! Neeerdom.
Neeerdom.
fucking nerdist.
And for those who are confused about the nerddom thing, it can be N-E-E-E, or it can be N-E to the third power.
Yeah.
Just so, because I think some people were getting confused with it. But either way is fine.
And it's Neeerdom. I know it should be an elongated R, but we wanted to make it look like a. I like the idea that it is neon to the third power. So that's why we did whatever the hell we want. Come on, this is the internet. We do whatever we want. But all right, guys, that's Josh,
and this is Leonard,
and signing off. Hope you have a good night. Peace.